Meantime, less than a year after the Supreme Court struck down his plan, President Biden is taking another shot at student loan forgiveness. The president sharing new details today in the swing state of Wisconsin. More than 30 million borrowers could get relief under the president's plan.
While a college degree still is a ticket to the middle class, that ticket's becoming much too expensive. By freeing millions of Americans from this crushing debt of student debt, it means they can finally get on with their lives.
Now, the new plan could cancel interest payments above the principal loan, debt for borrowers eligible for programs but who haven't yet applied for them, undergraduate debt for borrowers who entered repayment more than 20 years ago or more than 25 years ago for graduate loans, and it could cancel debt for those experiencing hardships. All right, so the focus here is on student loans, but is this just really a stimulus package in disguise in an election year? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, and I will say one thing, just I avoid policy like the plague, but I will tell you, if you want to make college less expensive, the way that you do that is not by forgiving student loans, right? Because it's just going to drive up the cost for other people. Biden's in Wisconsin, it's swing state, he's there, he's got a problem with young voters. The people who would be affected by this are young voters. This is nakedly political.
So in the fact sheet that the Biden White House put out, they mentioned that this will help black borrowers 14 times, Latino borrowers 13 times, and the age demographic that has the most student loans, 25 to 34-year-olds. Mark, when you look at the problems that the president is having, it is sort of those demographics, is it not?
Well, right. I mean, that's why he's doing it. Now, there's two ways to look at it. One is that he's just, once again, trying to play an old trick that he knows is going to be canceled. He's going to get caught trying. On the other hand, he's at least trying. Like, Joe Biden has a problem with segments of the electorate. So what he does is he goes out there and proposes things. Whether they work or not, who knows? You're not really seeing that with Donald Trump. He's got various problems with various segments of the electorate. He's not even really giving it a whirl. So whether this actually dispirits those voters from voting when it doesn't happen because the courts block it is another matter.
And remember, he was pushed to this issue because of Senator Warren and Senator Sanders during the last presidential run, and it was their idea and how they were getting all the young progressive voters. And so obviously he's having a major issue with that demographic.
Are you buying votes here? Are you trying to buy votes?
Well, I think you're responding to your constituents. This is what elected officials do. Your constituents say we want this, and so if you agree with them, then you propose it. But what I think is smart about this plan in particular is he is focusing on the most egregious abuses of the student loan industry. When you look at people of color, it's because that they have higher interest. It's because that they come from like systemically unequal backgrounds that are disadvantaged. Therefore, their rates are inherently higher. And then when you look at, for instance, the public student loan forgiveness program, that is after 10 years of service, granting automatic forgiveness rather than I have to go through all that paperwork. That was awful.
I hear the argument, and let's show the numbers real quick, because there is obviously a big issue with student loans and the outstanding balances in this country. The government backs a lot of these student loans. The government, Brad, also insures FHA home loans, right? So why doesn't the president then say, you know what? If the FHA insures home loans, let's wipe away $20,000 of home loans. If you got $20,000, why stop it? Why stop at student loans? Let's go to home loans too. Well, and if he's not, is he picking and choosing winners and losers?
He's testing the waters with the courts here, right? The courts are guiding a lot of this here. But I think in addition to all these things, like I said, he's focused on the most egregious examples. For instance, the fact that your repayment amount is higher than it was when you first took out the loan is insane. That's unfair, and it should be brought down. And that's what he's saying.
Is that how interest works, though?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, but over like years.
Ashley was smiling at me when I made that analogy. You like that one? You thought that was a decent?
Well, I was laughing because I was going to say he's probably going to do that with the housing loans, like in September.
Okay.
The outdated thinking here around college is a big part of the problem. You heard the president say that college is a pathway to the middle class. That's not the reality, right? The reality is that America is embracing non-college answers. They're embracing vocational and technical education. We have all these jobs open for all this other stuff. And the idea that getting a 4-year degree in ethnomusicology is the pathway to the middle. I'm sorry, but your lute playing is, but that is the pathway to the middle class has led us to the inflation of this bubble and all of these problems.
All right, well, Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.